tell us, why'd you write The Magic Strings of Frankie Presto?
I had been a musician when I was younger, and then you know, I actually came here to New York to try to make it as a musician and failed. And I think the failure of that as something that had been so passionate to me. I mean, I didn't like music. I lived music. That was all I ever planned on doing. I had no plan B. I kind of stumbled into writing while I was working here in New York, trying to, you know, knocking on record company doors, playing all the clubs in the village, you know, on Monday nights, very hot Monday nights, you know, you basically invited all your friends, they gave the door $5, they kept all the money, and then, you know, and then they told you at the end of the night, you can come back if you have more friends, you know, but otherwise we don't want you back. So during the day I was, I had some time free, and I volunteered for a local newspaper here called the Flushing Tribune, which I think is still in business. And I worked, you know, I did a story about parking meters, and you know, I blew the lid off of that story. And when I saw it published for the first time the following week, when I went into the supermarket, which is where I picked it up, I saw my name and, you know, something underneath it. And as any of you who are writers know, there's a sort of magic feeling you get when you see something you've created on the page, and I think I was hooked as a writer. I think all the passion that I had for music, I kind of redirected creatively into writing. Consequently, as my writing career thankfully took off much better than my music career, I think I just sort of buried music, you know, and I just kept it to the side. And I never wrote about a musician in any of my novels or any of my things until this idea came up. And I tend to write off of themes first. Some writers think of, you know, character first or a plot first, and they want to really develop that. I tend to think about, like, what area do I want to get into, what theme do I want to explore, and then I develop a story around that. I should hold still again. The theme I wanted to explore was that, having been in many bands in my life, there's a unique relationship when you're in a band with the other musicians. You don't speak to them. You don't need to speak to them, and yet everybody sort of knows their role. You know, the drummer has to keep time or you're all lost. There's the lead guitar player, he gets to show off. There's the rhythm guitar player who has to be the responsible one. You know, there's the accent on the keyboard, the horns that just show up every now and then, you know. And if you think about that, that's pretty much how a family works. That's pretty much how a workplace works. That's pretty much any group, any band that you join has the responsible one, the lead one, the ego one, the whatever. And so I always thought there was a story there about how musicians influence one another and how people influence one another. And somehow I came upon the idea of a musician who was the best ever. You know, there was no question. He was the greatest ever at his instrument, and that is Frankie Presto. And he's so good that basically he's given the opportunity to actually change people's lives with his music. And he ends up with a magic guitar when he's 9 years old that has 6 strings that will reflect when he changes somebody's life with his music. And each time he does, the string turns blue. And then it's used up. And he has 5 left and 4 left and 3 left. And it sort of follows his life through that. And that was what I started with. What I finished with ended up being a lot more elaborate. If any of you have read my other books and now have this one, you know that you can fit 2 of my other books inside this one here. I'm told that that's considered value, so you should cherish that. I tend to worry about that because I always think, well, my readers are kind of used to, you know, the average length of time in the bathroom. You can pretty much finish one of my books, and now it's going to take some time, but my lovely publisher insists that no, 500 pages is good. People will like that. So the fact was I couldn't have told the story in any less time. It's a big epic thing.